Welcome to the first of what we hope will be many Giving Voice to Depression Ripple Reports.
A ripple effect is defined as the spreading effect or series of consequences caused by a single action or event. In our case, the action is caring, selfless people choosing to share their stories and experiences with depression on our podcast.
And while that sharing alone has enormous value, these ripple reports will highlight examples of people not only listening to the podcast, but hearing them, internalizing their lessons, and taking actions based on their new understanding and compassion. Today, we profile Nina, a first-grade teacher inspired to expand the effort to increase understanding and reduce the stigma of mental illness. And because her project involves children and people who influence children, it could literally have effects for generations to come. Here's Nina's story.
After I got done with my interview with you, I was like, okay, what can I do with what you're doing to pay it forward or to, branch it out into another area of educating people about how important it is to know how to cope or know how to help other people.
Nina knew whatever it was, it would involve her school and would need the buy-in and involvement of the entire staff. So she reached out to the school social worker, guidance counselor, child psych, gym teacher, and wellness committee, saying she wants to launch a mental health initiative for the 400 or so students. She was originally told there's already a curriculum for guidance, but
my school social worker went into more detail about how we do not talk about mental health as far as depression, suicide, whatever, until late in middle school. And I said, that's a problem.
That prompted conversations about childhood trauma and its effects on brain development and learning, and eventually an amazing idea to teach students about stress and coping techniques in what the school calls its specials.
That's not something they're born with. So you have to teach the children how to cope. So if you're angry, what should you do? What are good choices? What are things that you really shouldn't do? So in guidance, that's going to be a main focus. In gym, we are adding a yoga component and then a meditation, wellness, mindfulness component. In library, the librarian will teach kids about reading books and writing in journals and things like that in order to help them cope with whatever they're feeling. And then in art, our art teacher is going to do here's how you can draw to relax.
And then, and this is the part I absolutely love and think would be a great idea for parents as well as schools, after the kids have been exposed to various coping techniques and have had a chance to discover what works best for them, they'll make customized toolboxes filled with the coping techniques that they've learned.
And it'll change every year because no one stays the same every year. And when they go to the middle school or the high school, that's something they can take with them. So that'll help their next year's teacher kind of understand, okay, I can feel this child's upping right now. What are some things I can do to help them? Well, here's their toolbox. Here are some things that they have said help them.
Imagine that. Think of the ramifications, the ripples of that. Not only would each child have been exposed to and consciously identified healthy coping skills for him or herself, but feelings like frustration, embarrassment, anger, and all the others that can overwhelm us will have been named for them. Taboo topics like trauma and depression will be more exposed. And kids might start recognizing issues and needs not just in themselves, but in each other too.
By fifth grade, I can't even imagine in 5 years a student sitting next to somebody who is crying and the one fifth grader saying to the crying fifth grader, well, how can I help you? What's in your toolbox? What helps you calm down?
All because a brave person shared his or her story with Giving Voice to Depression, and a caring teacher heard it and was inspired.
I'm inspired. I want to make a toolbox.
I know. How cool is that? I wish I heard this or knew this when I had kids, little kids. Oh my gosh, I just love it.
Well, it proves one person can make such a difference.
Right. And we've gotten other examples, too, that people have written us about, things that they have done differently, ways that they have viewed things differently because of hearing these stories. You have a couple of those, right?
A mother reached out this week and said that she found the words to finally tell her children that she had depression, and she explained to them that might impact their mental health in the future. It's part of their their medical history, and they should know about it, and she's felt guilty, and now she doesn't. And she was met with love and support in response to it. So just good all around.
We can thank Jose for that one, huh?
Exactly. She said it was after listening to Jose.
And we heard from another parent, a father, who believed his child might have depression or be having some problems, and he didn't have the language to discuss it, but used the podcast as a launching point, and she ended up getting the treatment she needed.
Wonderful. And another one was a woman who had never gotten a massage before, said that she knew that she was depleted and had to up her game on self-care, and went and got herself a massage. And when she came home, she felt more able to be of service to her husband, who is, deeply depressed and has been for a long time. She felt less depleted.
And that sounds like something that might have come from hearing Adele's story about how caregivers have to take care of themselves.
Exactly.
So grateful to everybody who has shared their story. And if you have changed even your perspective because of something you've heard on this podcast, let us know, because we want to give some feedback to those who have shared their stories with us.
Stay tuned for more Ripple Reports, and check out more podcasts on iTunes, and check out our new beautiful website at givingvoicetodepression.com.